Quiz night. Andrew, don't we have a surprise today? We have an awesome guest with us.
Up in the top corner
I'm pointing
of me.
that way, right above Andrew. Hopefully big enough as well. I was playing with the size. Layal from Lebanon is joining us. She's doing a Kotlin round, which is going to be awesome. That means you don't have to put up with Andrew's and my questions all the time. So thank you so much
In
for
fact,
joining us.
we're going to be quiet the
Hi,
whole way through.
everyone.
Leo's going to do all 3 rounds for you.
So, Layal, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Andrew and me talk way too
Y-
much.
Yes, so first I want to thank you for letting me join this round. It's really fun watching you do these games every Friday night. So I thought of joining in, and Eddie was very welcoming. Thank you for that, Eddie.
You're welcome.
So yeah, a little about me. Layal Matta. You can find me on the internet at Yal Matta. And I'm an Android developer by day, so I use Kotlin for Android every single day. So I thought of introducing everyone to this language that we use. So yeah. So I basically started using Kotlin sort of 2 years ago, but I only recently started using it daily, on a daily basis at work and my side projects and the jobs I applied for. So yeah.
Awesome. And before that, did you do Java?
Yes, of course. So Java was my all-time Android language until Kotlin came in and become supported by Google and become Kotlin first, like Android become Kotlin first.
Okay. Awesome. I didn't know it was kind of, Kotlin first, so that's good to know.
Yes,
And
it
hopefully
became in 2017, I think. They announced that during Google I/O, and everyone was excited, but I was kind of worried because I didn't learn it that much by then. And then we started rolling with it.
I don't think you've looked back since. Every time we speak, you're always very fond of Kotlin.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, awesome.
So here we are talking about Kotlin tonight, and I'm not gonna give you any introduction of Kotlin because we're gonna find out in the quiz.
That sounds awesome. So we have
Otherwise, I will be
sorry.
giving you the answers instead.
Okay, awesome. So it's
I've
not
been
too
playing a
hard,
little bit.
hopefully.
When Eddie said that you were going to join for a Kotlin round, I did have a little bit of a look around at their docs and a little bit of I say play with it, not really. Yeah, we'll see. It looks very interesting. Hopefully I managed to remember and pick up enough.
Yes, so
Hopefully.
the
I want to
questions
try and
are
get an edge over
actually,
it. Sorry.
yeah. So the questions I chose are very basic questions, introductory questions, just to know about the language. They're not advanced at all. So just to have fun.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. So just to recap an overview, we have 3 rounds tonight. First round is Kotlin, second round is picture round, and third round is Git, GitHub, and open source. For 3 rounds tonight.
Again, didn't we have Git last week and the week before and the week before and pretty much the last 4 or 5 weeks we've had a Git round, haven't we?
Have we? I'm kind of running out of ideas. We need more guest rounds.
Oh, it's all good. Git and open source are massive things, so I'm sure you can talk about it forever.
I can. I've just shared a link to the gaming platform into the YouTube chat. So if anyone does want to join the game, do sign in. And we've got 8 players I see now. And if anyone else wants to join in, do join the game. You can join later if you need, but we don't want you to miss out. So you can log in with social logins or create an account.
I guess we'll start in about 5 minutes. When we start about 10 past.
Yeah, we'll usually start about
It's
10
a bit longer.
past. That's true.
What have you been doing this weekend? What have you been learning? You've been doing lots of little videos I've seen coming up.
Yeah, I've been trying to document the things I've been learning. I've been doing different things. I'm playing more with Tailwind CSS, and I'm actually, liking it more and more the more I play with it. So that's quite good. That's about it. What about you? You've just been enjoying the sun in the UK. We finally got a bit of sun this week in the UK. So Andrew's been playing golf like every day, right?
Not every
Nice.
day. Today there was a big event for the golf club today, so I was out the whole day today. But yeah, it's not every day. I think only 3 days this week.
And our guest, Layal, what have you been up to this week? Oh, she's frozen.
Oh, she may have frozen.
This week we started the lockdown again. We've been having another night at home and learning some new stuff. I actually joined the Discord channel that Eddie created not a long time ago, and I found really useful resources there. Someone today just shared the GitHub courses, like the Getting Started courses, and I played with those. It was really good. Even though we know how to fork and create issues, learning those from GitHub themselves are pretty interesting.
Awesome, and they have got so many new features coming out as well. One thing I want to do probably next week is play with Code Spaces. So Code Spaces has not come out for everyone yet, not until I think October, but it has come out for a few people, betas, to use it and to like kind of beta test it and so on. So I've got access to that. So I look forward to having a play with that. It's so awesome to be able to just jump into a Python project or I don't know, Ruby project and not have to set up all the environment locally. Just by forking it or creating a branch, it will build the whole Docker instance with all its dependencies, Mongo, etc., just done there and then. So I think that's going to be a game changer, really lower the barriers to entry for everybody.
Yeah, they've been working on it for quite a while. I think it first got mentioned about 2 or 3 years ago, didn't it? They bought it up, I believe, as well. So they didn't start it themselves.
Okay.
They bought it and they've integrated it, and yeah, should be exciting.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to that. I will do a live stream on it, obviously. You know me.
Of course.
We'll be
That's
looking
all you do
forward
is live stream your learning.
Layal, what were you saying? Sorry.
Yes, so I'll be looking forward to this.
Okay. Me too. I hope it works. Hope I don't break anything.
Mohammed's going to be cheating on the way through. It sounds like he's got Google at his side, ready to go.
Okay, no cheating. Hopefully some of the questions can't be Googled. I think mine can on the GitHub and open source and Git round. Andrew, picture round, probably a bit more difficult. And the Kotlin round, probably a bit more difficult as well. To Google.
We'll see.
We'll see. I'm quite excited. I want to see how I do on this first round. Actually, I have a question. Will Java help me on the Kotlin round, or is it completely different?
It has some similarities,
Well,
I think.
they do have similarities and they are interoperable actually. They both use JVM, so you can call Kotlin code from Java and vice versa.
Okay.
So they have a lot in common, but the questions are different tonight. They're totally Kotlin. So
Okay, awesome.
we're gonna find out together.
We're going to level the playing field for everybody.
Exactly.
Awesome. Right. Should we get started? I'm quite excited.
Go on then. Let's begin. I think we've got most people hopefully here by now, so let's give it a
Okay.
go.
Who wants to hit start?
And
We
players.
should let our guests
Go on,
hit
let
start.
Layal do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
come
on.
on.
Should I click the start button?
Click the start button. Do it. You have the power. Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah, counting down, and we're starting.
Yeah. First round, 10 questions. Kotlin. Second round, 10 questions. Picture round. And as we said, third round, GitHub open source and Git. I didn't put that in the title. Right. Hit begin. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay. Get
So
to know.
Kotlin overview.
Sorry. All you. I'll shut up.
Okay, so next question, right?
Let's do it.
Okay. So by whom Kotlin was developed and is developed? Is it Google? Is it JetBrains, Microsoft, or Apple?
I'm laughing because it's a very similar question to, I think, mine. Not for Kotlin, but just kind of the type of question. It's very, very similar.
Who invented open source? Or developed open source?
And remember, everyone, don't write your answers in the chat. Just write silly answers in the chat. Like for this one, you could write Andrew. Andrew invented Kotlin.
Of course, that's with most languages.
I'm hoping most people will know this one. I know this one. I don't know if
I'm
everyone
between
can answer it.
two, but I think I know what it is. I'm pretty sure I remember. But I have a small feeling I could be slightly off, but I don't think so.
Okay, I'm
I just know one of those
100%.
likes to dabble a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
100%
I'm
sure.
90%. I'm 90%.
Okay. I'm hoping you get it wrong. Get that 10% wrong. I need to beat Andrew.
I'm just wondering if someone's gonna answer C.
Or E.
Or A.
E is the right answer.
What is it?
Okay.
Okay.
Please be an easy
Should we
question
move on?
next. Yeah, do it.
You have answered, haven't you, off screen, I assume, Eddie?
I've answered off screen, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Just making sure.
Next question. So which extensions are used to save a Kotlin file? .kot, .kts, or .java?
I actually don't know this one.
I know one of them because I've been playing a bit, but I don't know if there's other ones or not.
Is it more than
might
one
be,
answer?
yeah.
Or just one? Oh,
Well, extensions comes with an S, so it might be.
Okay.
oh yes, yes. Well. I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
hint.
I have to guess.
Okay.
Yes, Mohammed. More than one answer.
We believe there's more than one anyway.
We
It
think.
could be
Yeah,
it could be a red herring.
it could be a trick question.
Yeah, it might be.
What? Don't tell me that now. I was convinced it's more than one, and now you're telling me.
I'm happy. I think, hopefully.
Okay, I've picked as well. I've selected. I hope their questions get easier. It's already number 2, and it's already got quite hard.
I
Yeah,
think it's,
like
I don't want to say too much yet, but I think it's a little bit like TypeScript, I think, in the way their extensions work. I won't say any more. Let's move to the next question.
How do TypeScript extensions work? I only know about the TS. Is there more than one?
Yes.
I did not know that. Oh
Great.
yes, there is one more that no one ever uses.
well, in Kotlin as well, I use one, and some others are used in.
So if you had to pick, let me ask you a personal question. Which is your preference? A, B, C, or D?
E.
Just- Just between
There we
you
go.
and me, we won't tell anyone.
We're gonna discover that. So it could be the fourth of the. We're gonna see.
Actually, all of them.
That would be a real surprise if it is.
You can create the extension you want.
Exactly. That's what I was just thinking. Most of these
Custom.
places let you pick.
Yeah, true.
Okay, should we continue?
Let's do it.
Do it. Okay, so I actually got the idea of this question from the last session you had with Daniel, I think, from Samsung, Eddie.
Oh yes, yesterday.
Yes, and it was the first time that I hear about licenses and why do you choose them and how they are used, like the structure of them. So I got the idea of this question. So
It's
under
all right, 'cause
which license? Yeah.
I was going to say Dan, who joined not too long ago, spent a long time, I believe, looking into what the licenses mean. So Dan can give us a detailed explanation of all of these, I'm sure.
It's a
Yeah.
different Dan.
It
These are
was
two
really
different
great.
Dans, by the way.
I know, but
Ah,
yeah, the Dan that's joined us on the quiz this evening, I was thinking,
yeah.
I'm not sure.
I don't even know if Kotlin's open source.
Hmm.
No, I'm sure. Oh, well, there is a C option there, I suppose. I'm sure it is. I can't imagine anything that's using the JVM or works that closely to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, well, 1 in 3 chance, right? 1 in 4, maybe.
1 in 3.5. I don't.
Yeah.
Let me ask
This
a
one
question.
can't be multiple.
Can it be multiple?
No.
Okay,
I don't
phew.
think
I was looking at
Well,
license and it's no S. There's no S. You can't trick me.
so.
I was only thinking you could have had an old license that moves to a new one recently, but then I'm sure it's still the current one, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
latest one, I suppose.
They didn't change the license.
Okay. Yeah, who would do that, Mongo?
Yeah, we can't say
React.
which company. That was another question.
Yeah. Okay, give me a second. I need to think. Give me a second.
We can't go back actually to the previous questions, right?
No, we can't.
So we can't cheat.
No, we haven't got a back option. Right?
Okay, I've made a guess. Not a good
Spin a
guess.
coin. Not a good guess.
You got a 4-sided dice.
Hmm.
Everyone watching, how are you all doing? You feeling confident? Like, give me a percentage.
Mm.
What do you think? Like 50?
They're too busy on Google at the moment.
You're too busy on Google. Mohammed, stay off Google.
Go on, let's do the next. Off we go.
Let's
Andrew's
go.
getting excited. Okay.
Okay, now we start with Kotlin code. So all classes in Kotlin are by default public, final, sealed, or abstract.
What's sealed? Is that like private?
I read about this. I don't know if you want me to explain it or not, because I don't know if it will cause a problem. But I did read about sealed. I
that's
think
not
it's a way of creating a class that is, how do I say it? You kind of like limited what you can have inside it. It's like almost a wrapper of classes to say this class can be one of these things, something like that, right? My understanding of
Terrible
what I read.
explanation, Andrew. I'm more
I know.
confused now.
Yes, it's like you're preventing other classes from inheriting. this.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, we see. Okay, that's quite smart. But is that not the same as final?
And yeah, it's different from final.
Okay.
I mean, it's different.
I'll have a Google after the quiz. After the quiz, Mohammed. Okay. Can it be more than one?
And no, I like by default it should be only one thing, right?
Okay. I think final means something different to what I think it is. During the quiz, Mohammed. No. Okay, I've guessed. Andrew, have you guessed, and how confident are you feeling?
I think I can discount 2 of them, so I'm kind of down to a 50-50, I think. So it's kind of like maybe I'm down to a 50-50 plus a bit, but
Plus a bit.
I think I've managed to discount 2 of maybe 3. I don't know. Let's say I'm 40% confident.
I just don't know. Do they want to be more strict, or do they want to be a bit more easygoing? If it's like, if it was JavaScript related, it would be public, right? Everything's open and accessible.
Exactly.
If it's like Java or Go, it's going to be more kind of, and they locked down, and you have to open things up slowly.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm not going to say too much because I'm going to give away my thinking on it. I'm going to be quiet.
Okay. Okay, I've answered. I've actually changed my answer after talking through it.
I haven't changed mine. Yeah, but it was on the same lines as what you were saying.
Okay.
Dan, happy with my quiz? My guess.
Good. Is that your final answer, Dan?
You have some seconds to change your mind.
We haven't done that countdown, have we? We're going to put a little
Yeah, we
countdown.
just put a
we can
countdown
turn on.
Yeah.
A little reminder for how long we had a question up.
Yeah.
I think that's enough Googling time for everyone, though, right?
Yeah. So there isn't enough Googling time, right?
Should we move next?
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah. Next question. Okay, so how do you define functions in Kotlin? What keyword do you use? Is it fun, func, function,
I know what.
or main?
This one I'm sure of.
It's because you were learning.
It showed off in
today.
your research.
Yeah. This is one of those things where it's really easy if you know, and if you don't know, it's practically impossible.
Yes. Yeah, you can make a good guess at it, though.
Is there more than one
Well, I'd
answer?
say maybe not.
No.
Oh, that's a good question. I've only seen one. I've only seen one way personally, but
Okay.
I don't know if that's just the best practice way, and there's others. I don't think I've seen anything else.
I want to do so badly. I started off so strong with question 1.
Should we give any hints, Andrew?
No, definitely not, because I know the answer.
Okay, maybe I can ask this question to make it a bit easier. I mean, everyone watching, how are you all doing? But maybe I can ask this question. Is it an abbreviation or is it not an abbreviation? Because that will give us like 50-50 almost, right?
No, I think it's a word you might use. Is that good enough for you? I don't know.
That's kind of confused me. A word you might use in Redux or a word you might use in branching?
The word you might use when you're coding.
That doesn't help. Okay, I'm changing my answer. Andrew, if I get this one wrong, I'm blaming you.
Sounds fine. I'm going to blame you a bit later on in the quiz anyway.
Anyone guessing in the chat?
Is everyone
No.
too... Yeah, guess with the wrong answers.
It's just 2 round brackets. That's all you need.
This isn't C#. Like this, right? There you go.
That's the one. Go on, let's see the next one. I think we've had enough.
Let's see it.
I don't want to give people too long.
Next question. Okay, so now you can select all that apply. So Kotlin is open source, a concise language, object-oriented language, a functional language, a statically typed language, or all of the above.
That's so mean.
At the same time. It's all of them at the same time.
Because a lot of languages now are functional as well as object orientated.
Yeah, it's sort of down to what you do. In some cases, like Java, I think you have to explicitly tell it what you're doing, but some don't necessarily care.
Okay, I've guessed. I've taken a confident guess. I'm feeling like 75
Yeah.
25.
I'm hopeful.
Well, this time it could be E.
We have an E this time.
We have an E this time.
G. It's going to be G.
Colin is difficult. I think that's missing. It's not that difficult, though. I don't think it's
Of
too
course.
bad. I think once you've done a one or two languages, I actually thought it was quite neat what I was reading. I sort of do want to spend a bit more time playing.
It is. It is very neat.
So there's another option we're missing. Neat.
Neat.
Well, it can be a substitute of another word.
That's very true.
I didn't look much at testing though. How's testing in Kotlin? I assume it's pretty similar to most others. You could probably run things.
It's-
Could you write your tests in Java if it's using the JVM? Or it's able to use the JVM?
Yeah,
Or does it have to be? Yeah, okay. Cool.
yeah, you can do that.
I've seen even Java projects use Scala for their testing or vice
Yeah, I was
versa.
going to say it. Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people actually got started with Scala. For some reason, they were writing their tests in Scala. It seemed like a way of trying out the language almost.
If I remember at Expedia, they used Java, but they used Scala for their testing because of the way it did it. I can't remember what it's concurrency, or it made it a lot easier to do it. It was
Right, yes.
it did something
more
like that
asynchronous.
well. Yeah, it did something like that well.
Yeah, it's built very much for asynchronous coding, things like Akka and stuff. Well, I think Akka you can use in Java as well anyway.
Okay,
Go on, let's see what the next one. What have we
let's
got?
move next. Okay, so with Kotlin, it's possible to build for the following targets.
Well, we've spoken about one of
Okay.
those, so I'm going to tick that.
Yeah, so this is a multiple choice question, so choose whatever you want. JavaScript, Windows, Linux, WebAssembly, JVM, Android, everything Mac OS, .NET CLR, or all of the above.
What's NetCLR? Like .NET
Yes,
Clear or something.
You just saw .NET and you got confused, Eddie.
I did.
so it's .NET basically.
Ah, okay. They just added a few extra letters to try and look more impressive.
Is that what they? I was just
Try
trying
to
to think.
confuse.
We've got Tom here. He'll tell us. It's more the cross-platform stuff. They put CLR often. don't they?
Ah, okay. I think Tom's in the pub. I think he's only looking at the web browser.
Oh yeah,
rather
he's
than the
not.
actual
Yeah,
YouTube
he's not
video.
listening on here. Yeah.
So he's not listening. I think a lot of people have gone to the pub. I'm looking at my messages and I can see people saying, "Still at the pub, haven't made it home yet. Still at the pub, haven't made it home yet." Like, okay. I've selected.
Yeah, we were saying actually we might look to shift the night now that people are starting to get that back down to the pub in the UK and stuff. So
It's
we can
true.
talk about the end if you like, but I think we were considering Wednesday maybe.
Yeah, next one will probably be on a Wednesday. Makes sense. Maybe a bit earlier as well because it's quite late. Like in Lebanon now,
Yeah.
it's 11:30. I think I've got some other messages I'm just noting in Discord where people are saying it's like 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock where they are in Asia. So it might be good to have it a bit earlier.
Yeah, it's 2 hour difference currently with the changing time in summer. Usually it's 1 hour, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so did you make your choice yet?
I have made my choice. I just think I'm going to be
So
surprised. I'm confident I've got the right one, but I think you're going to surprise me is what I want to say.
I've made a choice, but no, I've made
Cotland
a
is
couple
good.
of choices actually. I have made a couple of choices.
Is it more than one, or it's just, oh, it's targets with an S?
Yeah, yeah, I've
More
seen
than
stuff about a couple of them, but there's a few others that I just, I don't know, bit of a guess.
Can we get a clue? Is it more than one? It is. Oh, okay. Let me add something. No. Okay, I'll do it. Dan's as
I was just seeing what
confident
Dan's
as
written.
I.
I,
Okay, should we move next?
Let's do it. I'm
Let's
hoping
do
it's
it.
getting easier.
Ah, little bit. So which keyword do you use to use the singleton pattern for a class in Kotlin?
I think I know this one, but I might be a trick question. I think I know it. Put my Java hat on. Dan, are you as
yeah, that's
confident
kind
as
of what
me?
I'm doing. That's kind of what I'm doing is thinking from a, well, sort of a Java perspective, but yeah, I don't know about confident.
I'm like 80% on this. This is probably overconfident. Compared to the other ones. Dan, my confidence just vanished. I'll give you 50-50 if you want, Dan.
I was going to say, how about his drink? Did he just down his whiskey as well at the same time? He's probably drinking something a bit
Oh,
nicer than that.
Yeah, Pims.
Dan's on the fancy stuff. It is hot for us anyway.
I'm happy to give you a clue, Dan, but I don't, which will give you 50-50, but I don't know if it's correct. So I can give you a clue, but it's at your own risk. Let me know if you want it. Phone a friend. Yeah, phone me. It might not be a good answer though, or the right answer. I'm probably the wrong person to phone. I'll give you a clue before we move on. I think it begins with S. That gives you 50-50.
Oh, now you got me worried. Eddie's normally wrong on these, right?
What? So Dan will take the 50-50 that I recommend, and Andrew will do the 50-50 of the other side that I was trying to exclude.
I don't know. I'm just concerned now. I don't know. Oh, whatever. I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
It's the one I picked before it. I'm going to stick with it.
We'll get the results after this round, so it's going to be interesting.
yeah, very soon.
3 out of 10.
That's not bad. It's above average.
I think there's been 3 that I was confident about.
Average would be 2.5, right?
Absolutely.
Over 10,
Yeah, there could be a
right?
few guesses. I like to think they're educated guesses of some sort. I'm not sure educated by what though.
Okay. Should we move next?
Let's do it.
Yeah? Okay. So which of these is true for Kotlin variables? So if you know, in Kotlin we have 2 types of variables, val and var. So does val correspond to final variable in Java? Or var cannot be changed? Val can be changed? Or all variables are immutable by default?
Oh, I don't
So
know. I really want to Google this so much. I think I misheard the question. What's the difference between var and val?
This is what your
So
question.
that might help. I mean, that did catch me for a minute. I thought they were all talking about val until you read it out, and B is about var, isn't it?
I'm the same. I took them all as val as well.
Which is now sort of making me just trying to think. I'm trying to discount things, basically.
Yeah, so in Kotlin, you have this type inference. So the language guesses the type while compiling. So you don't have to write an integer or to write if it's a double. So
Okay.
you just, of course, you can do that, but the language will know by default at compile time. So we use var and val. What's the difference between those two?
I was going to say Scala's big on having immutable stuff. You have to expect what it was, but I don't think it was anything to do with. Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be. Yeah, okay, I'm going to say too much.
I think we're on the same page with our Scala.
Yeah, I'm down to one. I think I'm down to one. Okay, that's just by deducing the others out. But
Oh no! Wait a second. Can it be more than one answer?
Which is true, so
no, I don't.
you can have
I
a
think I'm
lot of
comfortable
truth.
with what I've got.
Which of these is true? Yeah, so you could have more than one. My English is so bad. Oh, okay, I want to pick more than one. I need a little bit more time.
How's Google looking?
No, I'm not looking at Google. I've changed my answer. Really think this is wrong, but I want to do a different answer to you, just so if I'm right, I get extra points. Well, not extra points, but yeah.
So you don't know what I've gone for, so you might just be picking the same one as me.
No, you've got your Scala hat on.
Oh,
So
Have
had
I? I
my
mentioned
Scala hat
about
and I've
Scala,
changed it.
then I suddenly read what that statement says in full and went, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to say too much.
Oh no, I got it wrong. Wait a
So-
second, I read that wrong.
one other question for you. So we're gonna give a hint.
Okay.
What's immutable?
That's why I think it refers. I think that's similar to A and C. Oh no, not A and C. A and B. Sorry. Immutable means you can't change it, right?
Yeah, you get back what you send in. Yeah,
And that's what my answer was, and I've changed it. I'm so not sure.
you'll always get back the same answer.
I still
But
think.
there's a special word that's involved in that one though that's made me. I can't. I don't want to talk. I'm happy with my answer. Move on to the next question. Eddie can sweat.
I didn't think this quiz is gonna be this confusing. Actually.
No, it's good. It's good.
Every quiz with Eddie it becomes confusing. You think when you start, you go, I know the answer, and Eddie throws a curveball, and you go, oh, actually, I'm not sure now.
And look at Dan. We read Val, Val, and Val, and Dan read Val, VAT, and Val.
Wait.
VAT
Dan's
is
got
not due
VAT.
this month. It was last month.
Dan's been too busy doing stuff with VAT today, probably.
Okay, I've only chosen one answer. I don't know if I should just pick another one.
Stick with it. Come on.
Gonna-
You had plenty of time, Eddie.
Okay, let's
This is
do
Eddie's
it.
quiz.
Yes. True, let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's go. Final question. So which of these is used to handle null exceptions in Kotlin? Is it the range, the sealed class,
I
the
know this
Elvis operator, or the
only
lambda
because
function.
only because I really want this in JavaScript. I know this.
That's awesome.
This is a great ending
I thought at
question.
one point I read some TypeScript at one point. I thought, oh, TypeScript can do this, and it can't. I thought it could.
This is a really good question.
Yeah, so it handles them, but you only avoid it, so it may happen, not exceptions.
I don't know the answer to this one. Dan, what are you going for? I'll go for E as well, Dan. I really want it to be the Elvis operator. I don't even know if that's made up or if that's a real thing.
Well, I'm sure you've heard about the ones that are real. That's all I'm going to say. I'm trying to be mystical as much as I can.
Okay, I've placed my answer. I was thinking of what you said, which was it's missing in JavaScript and it would be really nice. And I thought, actually, that's a really good point.
We'll see if you get it right then.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Results are going to be coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, who's
We're
won?
gonna know the truth.
It'd be Dan. Dan's going to have won this.
Dan's
Well,
going to win.
Mohammed, with all his Googling, is going to win. He's been very quiet for a while, so.
Muhammad was Googling as well.
I think we are going to go quickly through all the answers for this round as well. Once we've seen the scores, then we'll move to the next round. So, but we'll be quite quick going through them. I think.
Awesome.
I think Eddie wants to read off an essay about every single one.
No, it's fine. Mine is short and sweet.
Go on, let's see. 10 out of 10 for
Okay.
Mohammed. Let's see.
Okay.
How is that
Okay,
Google
so
food?
let's end round then.
End the round. Let's see it. As long as I beat Andrew, that's all I care about. If
So long as I've got
one,
one.
all I need is 2.
More than 5.
Andrew got 10 out of 10.
No.
You cheating. You use Google. No way. Mohammed, we know, used Google because he owned up to it. Andrew used Google and is not owning up to it. I came last.
My hands, I'm sure, were up there most of the time.
Dan beat me.
I was confident on about 5 of them, and the other ones, it was just deduction.
It's that Elvis operator that got me.
Yeah.
See, Danny picked the Elvis operator. He was like, he wanted it to be that so much, and it was. 6 was good. Everyone got 6
What
right.
did it was? What did you answer?
I'm too embarrassed to say.
No, it's fine. You thought of it as it's not in JavaScript, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't think any of them were in JavaScript. I don't remember what the other ones were. But that particular one, I remember seeing an example somewhere, and ever since then, I've wanted it to be in JavaScript.
Yeah, and it's so cool, the Elvis operator, just like Nelvis here. So it's like an interrogation point, a question mark with a colon. So it looks like 2 eyes with an Elvis hair.
You know how you can put like an exclamation mark in TypeScript to say this does exist, to tell TypeScript it does exist. I
Yeah.
saw someone somewhere showed the question mark. I think it was at one of the meetups we went to. They showed it with a question mark, and they explained what the question mark was. I was like, that's so awesome, I want that. And I went away and I thought TypeScript had it, and I spent I must have been like a day trying to figure out, do I need a different version of TypeScript? I need something else. Why can't I get it? And yeah, it just turned out that no, it isn't there. Yeah, I'm sure we went to a meetup
It's
and
only-
saw it then. We spoke about it afterwards for a while.
I don't remember.
It'll come back to you.
So Andrew, do you want to reset round to question
Yeah.
round 1, question 1, and we can go through the answers really quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's it gone?
Tom got 5. Nice, Tom. 50%. Well above average. Dan's above average. I'm practically average. Is everyone going to see my answers now and be really embarrassed?
Probably. Go on then. Take us through it. What are the answers?
Yeah, let's begin again. So, do you want to take a last guess? I think.
No one has any
No?
last guess. This is it. This
Okay.
is my answer. Am I
That's
right?
it. Let's get the answers.
So I think
So
everyone was confused between Google and JetBrains, I think, right?
I almost did go back to Google thinking Google have started so many things, maybe they did, but I'm sure I saw somewhere that it was by JetBrains. So I was like 90% sure.
Yes, so it's developed by JetBrains, and they started in 2010. But they've been around for quite a while. So JetBrains makes a lot of cool tools like IntelliJ, Android Studio. What else do you use? PHP Storm, for example. So basically, all the tools that we use every day, and they came up with Kotlin. Okay, you go next. And what's the extension? So we have two right
KT.
answers.
KT was the one that I've used.
Yeah, and
The reason, and I then picked KTS because of TypeScript. And I was thinking TypeScript did like KTX to mean that these are the TypeScript extensions. And I thought maybe KTS for like Kotlin source or something, but it was a bit of a guess.
So that's it, KT and KTS. Why? Of course, it's not .java. This will be a Java file. So the first KT is for the source file in Kotlin, and KTS is for the shell script in Kotlin. And I think there's a third one, KTM, I think, for the modules, but I'm not sure.
And what about KOT? I selected that one. We need one for that.
We can create a language for that one.
Be a very sleepy one. You're lying in your cot. Sorry. Bad joke.
Okay, so we move next. Now for the license. Which one have you chosen, Eddie?
MIT.
MIT. Mm-hmm.
I didn't think
Andrew?
it was Apache.
Most things go for either MIT and GPL.
Yeah.
Apache doesn't get used very often. So because Apache was there, I thought, that's not a very popular one that people go for. Why did you put Apache 2 into this? That was the only reason I chose Apache 2, I'm afraid. Because everyone uses MIT and GPL. I don't see many places go for Apache 2. So I just went for that purely for that reason. I couldn't
That's
think why you
true,
might have
so-
selected a random one.
We need to ask JetBrains why they chose Apache 2. So it's Apache 2. And it's basically because you can edit and distribute all development codes and tools related to Kotlin as you please without renaming it as your own intellectual property, like any license. But I'm not sure why Apache 2.0. I think maybe they're used to it with their other products, or we'll have to ask them.
See, I thought a bit like Andrew, but the opposite in there. Apache 2 never gets used. It's not going to be that one. Whereas Andrew thought it was that one. Oh, damn it.
Okay, we move next. So all classes in Kotlin are by default. Drum roll.
So, shall I go through my reasoning, Eddie?
Go on.
Because I know you want to know how I managed to get to where I did. So you spoke about public, and you're like, everything in JavaScript's public. And I thought, you're right, because I was actually going to pick public until you said that.
Oh,
But then I thought, no, you're right. So Kotlin's got to be different to that. It's definitely not going to be abstract because you don't.
Yes.
That means you have to do concrete stuff, and you'd have to. You normally want to declare that. And sealed, because I knew what sealed was, and I know it's not that. So I was between public and final. But when you mentioned about JavaScript, I thought, actually, you know what? Kotlin probably wants to be different. Let's go final instead. That's the only reason, I'm afraid.
I was torn between sealed and final, but I wasn't clear what sealed was, what final, the difference between final and sealed. I think I should get that. I helped you. I'm changing my answer. No one else changed their answers, but I'm allowed.
So what are you choosing now?
I chose final because I think that's the answer, right?
Yeah.
Phew. I don't want to
So
change
by
it
default-
and choose the wrong one.
I can't believe Dan's going to miss the picture round. He would have liked the picture round.
So by default, Kotlin classes are final. They can't be inherited. So personally, I wasn't sure what's the difference between sealed and final. So I researched that right now. So a final class cannot be extended, and a sealed trait can only be extended in the same source file as it's declared.
Oh, okay.
If that means anything to you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so Kotlin classes are final by default. And the decision was
You okay?
yeah, fine. Yeah, so
Sorry, we can take over for a moment if you want.
it's fine.
Yeah.
So if you want to make this classes inheritable, yeah, so you should make them open. So you should write the open keyword instead of the final.
Okay. So by default, it's
Okay.
final, and if you write open, it makes it the opposite, which is quite nice. I do like the idea of a class by default being final.
Public. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's to be explicit when you want to make things available. It's definitely something that frustrates me about quite a few languages, is that everything by default is very visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the decision was made to avoid the fragile-based class problems. So if when you make a small change in a base class and you make in a superclass and you make subclasses, they might malfunction. So this is why they made them all final. Okay. We go next. And what's the keyword that define a function?
Yes. So
So
I had a different answer, but Andrew made me change
yeah.
my mind. So if I got this wrong, it's Andrew's fault.
Andrew said it might be a word on itself. That was right.
Which 3 of them could be words by their own right. Funk is probably the only one that isn't, unless it was a K. But yeah, no, from having just read around and sort of played a little bit, fun is the one that I saw everywhere.
Really?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's fun.
really
We have
short.
many functions.
And they are fun.
Yeah. So functions are the basic building block of any program, as we know. But in Kotlin, they are declared by the keyword fun, and they are first-class citizens, which means that functions can be assigned to variables, they can be passed as an argument, and they can be returned from another function. So
Okay.
it's fully function.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is quite interesting in Kotlin because, you know, we use functions everywhere. So if you can pass it as an argument or return it in a function, it can simplify a lot of things. Okay, we go next. Now the multiple choices. Which one have you chosen?
I chose all of them.
I was going to say, this is the one that
Oh.
everybody got right, isn't it? Yeah. I struggled to
Yes.
discount it,
So-
so I went for it. It must be all of them.
Yeah, it's all of the above. So Kotlin is open source. It has been open source. It started in 2010, but it was open source since 2012. And the Kotlin team currently has more than 90 full-time members that are working specifically. There are members in JetBrains in the team, and they're working full-time on Kotlin. And if you follow the Kotlin project on GitHub, it has more than 300 contributors right now. And as we may know, JetBrains claims that it eats its own dog food. So it uses Kotlin in its own projects, including its flagship, IntelliJ IDE. So that's pretty good, having all those people contributing to one open source language. And Kotlin is concise. As you said, Andrew, it's neat, so it's concise compared to Java, of course. So it drastically reduces the amount of boilerplate code. So compared to Java, you will write less code in Kotlin, which increases, of course, the speed of your development. And like a rough estimation, it indicates that Kotlin requires 40% less lines of code compared to Java.
Wow.
40%.
I think the only thing
And
that concerns me sometimes with languages that say things like that is, are they still keeping it all clear to read? Because it's all well and good to reduce the amount of code. Is it still
yeah,
sort of code that we can understand? And that's, yeah, I mean, from what I've seen so far, it looks sort of sensible and logical. But yeah, I couldn't say myself whether I think that is the case yet. But it always worries me when someone says, "Oh, you can get the same thing done with half as much code." Well, yeah, lots of languages you can make really complicated so that no one can understand them. But is that a good thing? I don't know. But yeah, so far it looks good.
yeah, yes, it's very, very well understandable as a language. So for the object-oriented or functional, it's both. So it has both object-oriented and functional constructs, and you can use both styles, or you can mix the two of them. So this makes like you have the higher order functions, function types, lambdas, all of that makes Android a great choice, Kotlin a great choice for you to explore functional programming as well as object-oriented programming. And finally, it's statically typed language, so which means that the type of the variable is known at compile time, as I said for the val and the var. And it also offers some form of type inference. So it has the capability of knowing the type, and so you deduce the type of the variable when writing the code. So that's it. It's all of them, which makes Kotlin pretty awesome language. Yeah.
I got a question
And
right.
if we continue. So now, what's possible to be built with Kotlin? What did you answer, Eddie?
I put JVM and Android, obviously, but then you said multiple choices. So I was like, Windows, Linux, WebAssembly, I don't know. Mac, probably not. .NET, probably not. I don't know. I know that Clojure has a really good transpiler to JavaScript, so I wasn't sure if Kotlin had one. But I was thinking about it and kind of knowing that the question I got was wrong. I probably think B and C, though. Probably not A.
What about you, Andrew?
Andrew's too embarrassed to say. Or was he muted? No, Andrew's muted.
Yeah, I don't know how I lucked out on this one, to be honest. I didn't think it was going to be all of the above, but I almost went for all of the above a couple of times. Like, maybe it is. I discounted .NET just because .NET is an absolute nuisance if you haven't got all the .NET stuff. So I couldn't see how Kotlin would have got around that and all the problems that probably come with it. So I discounted .NET. At which point I was then trying to discount some of the others. Now I was fairly confident I'd seen somewhere about WebAssembly, but not the other ones that were there. If you had split Windows and Linux or WebAssembly up, I probably wouldn't have picked the Windows and Linux one, but WebAssembly I'd seen somewhere. Likewise, I'm pretty sure I'd seen something about, I think it was iOS actually out of those, is what I'd seen. So it was only because iOS and WebAssembly were in those ones. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have picked B and D. I'd have probably been the same as Eddie on A and C. But I was just sure I'd read something about WebAssembly and something about iOS as being other good targets and stuff. But yeah, I couldn't have. That was about it. So.
Yeah, so that was true. And the only wrong answer was .NET. So yeah, Kotlin is known for Kotlin multi-platform. So Kotlin multi-platform projects exist now in production and in a big number on the Play Store, on the Apple Store. And Kotlin multi-platforms are completely focused on the sharing of the common code between the projects. So yeah, but this leaves the developers to build each platform application however they see fit. So you just share the common code together. So this lets developers share as much and as little code as necessary. So by building with Kotlin multi-platform, like it's targeting Android, it's targeting iOS. You'll still build two separate native applications. However, if done properly, you can encapsulate the bulk of the logic in one Kotlin code. Okay, and you can also write React apps, for example, using Kotlin front-end plugin and Kotlin wrappers. So they are binded in popular JavaScript libraries to Kotlin.
See,
So you
Andrew,
can
everyone loves React.
Absolutely.
yeah.
But yeah, I was just seeing Stephen just typing away. He's just joined us. He's upset that he just lost his £64,000 because he thought it was .NET only.
That's so funny. Sorry, Chris. Isn't that from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, trust Stephen. So, okay, just to clarify, so the answer was this one, basically those four.
Oh, I see. You're going to cheat again, are we?
I just wanted to clarify. You'd make it crystal clear.
Of course, yeah. They're the ones you got selected now, yes.
Just checking.
Then 4 goes up to 3.
Okay, we go next. So what did you choose to make a singleton pattern in Kotlin?
It has to be static. I can't remember if this was right or wrong on the list. But I'm probably...
See, I'd chosen object almost straight away, thinking singleton patterns. I can't imagine someone putting the word singleton in there. And static and class just didn't sound right. An object, to me, that is kind of a singleton generally anyway. I just wasn't sure would you put object there. I just couldn't remember if I'd seen it or not. But when Eddie said it begins with an S, I was thinking, oh, maybe it is static. And I was like, oh, because I was between
PHP,
static and object to start with. But I thought, no, I'm going to be different to Eddie.
In PHP, I'm pretty sure it's static. And in Java, I thought it was static as well.
Yeah, in Java it is. Actually, you have to write a lot of code in Java to make it a singleton pattern. Instead, in Kotlin, you just have one word and it's object. So it's object and the name of the class you want to make as a singleton pattern. That's it.
Wow.
Only one line of code. And it's just a data type with a thread safe singleton implementation. So one line of code. Okay. 2 more questions. So what about Val and for? Which one did you choose?
I was changing this all over the place. Andrew, you go first.
Yeah, well, I think I was in the same boat as you. I was thinking about immutable by default. I thought, oh, yeah, maybe. But then it said all variables. I thought, no, it's definitely not going to be all variables.
Yes, what I thought.
Scratch that one straight away. It can't be all of them. Then I was looking, going, var cannot be changed. But I was sure from the reading I was doing, I'd seen var being changed. And val, I was unsure about. So I was a little bit on val, but then I thought, well, there's got to be a reason for one of them. So if var you can change, then val perhaps you can't. So that left me with A, which I guess it was just kind of, it can't be changed perhaps. So A.
And the way I read it was var is like variable, so you can change it. And then val is like value, maybe you can't change it, so it's final. And then you're right, I went for D and I jumped around a little bit as well.
Yes, so you were right, Eddie, and you are right, Andrew. Both val and var are used to create variables in Kotlin. However, using val makes a variable immutable, which means it can be changed, which means it's like the final variable in Java. So you cannot change its value once it's initialized. So, yeah.
So it's A.
You were right. And
yes.
Yes, it's A. I thought you changed it to the last one.
I changed it and then I changed it back before. Not now, just to clarify, there's no changing on this question now, but I did jump around quite a
Yeah.
few times.
Okay, and the final question. Which of these is used to handle null exceptions in Kotlin? And we already answered this one. It's the Elvis operator, and it's look like Elvis by the question mark then the colon. And in Kotlin, it says if an object is not null, you use it. Otherwise, you use some non-null value. So it's you use it to declare that if this value is null, please print this one or print the other one. So it detects the null exception.
All the other names looked really silly, so I went for the one that I thought that looked the kind of it's a lambda function, right? It exists, it's a real thing, and then yeah, I kind of realized that I boo-booed that one up.
Yeah. So Elvis made a pretty cool appearance in Kotlin language.
Yes, Elvis has not left the building.
Mhm.
Elvis is
Okay,
back.
and that was it. A little introduction to Kotlin. I wish it was a little funny, a little fun, and small and not very advanced.
It was really good. No, that was an awesome round. I had fun. Shall I hit end? Let's just see the final scores again one last time. Maybe some people's scores like mine have changed. Yes, 5. Much better that time. Still can't believe
Cool.
Andrew got 10. I know Mohammed used Google.
Maybe you didn't. Maybe that was just something to throw him off.
True, maybe he didn't use Google. Yeah, absolutely. Nice.
That was good. Right, just let's see who's around for the next round. We know Stephen's recently joined us. I'm sure he's keen to go through some pictures with us.
Let's do it. I just want to say another big thank you
Oh yes,
to our
absolutely.
guest to say what an awesome round. Thank you so much for putting the questions together well in advance as well, like a week in advance. Not like Andrew, like 5 minutes before the quiz, or like me, an hour before the quiz. So, that was awesome. Thank you. And please, stick around on the live stream with us. But if you need to go,
Yes,
just
I will
say
continue and
bye.
play with you.
Sorry, say that again.
I will continue and play with you.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks a lot, Eddie, and have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's see the picture round. So hopefully this will be a fairly quick round because it's pictures and there's only going to be 2 options on every single picture. It's going to be, is this a picture of something that's tech or is this a picture of something that's not tech? There may be a couple that you could argue are borderline, but it's going to be one of those the quiz master's decision is final kind of answers. So apologies if you disagree, but that would be the case. So yeah, is this kind of, you can almost say, is it a little bit high tech perhaps rather than low tech? Because most things have come from technology in some sense, right? But yeah, tech versus no tech. Hopefully the first few are easy to give you an idea of what kind of answers we're looking at. Because I've only learned you can change variables. I feel cheated. Oh, Steve. Cool, right. First question. Here we go. This picture, is this a picture of something that's tech or non-tech? I will try and when we go through the answers say what the pictures actually are. And Eddie's straight in there with his answer to show everyone.
Yes, I'm confident about this one.
I'm going to be quite quick. We're going to get probably 15 seconds or so for each one.
Yeah,
I don't think most of them are pretty quick, I think, to make decisions on. There's only 2 choices. So we will be quite quick going through them. Is it tech or not tech? What do you think this is?
I think Layal is joining just via to take part in the quiz. I don't think she's on the call anymore, so I might remove her picture. I think she's she's frozen and she's left. Yeah, okay. I can always bring her back if I mess this up. So Layal, if you are there and you're planning on coming back, just let me know.
Cool.
Let's do it. 50-50 on each question, right?
Yeah, that's it. If you've ever tried to right-click and look at the images to see if you can learn from the name of the image, you'll have probably noticed by now that I rename them all to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the questions. So you right-clicking and having a look to see what's the name of this picture shouldn't really help you. But anyway, next question. I think that's enough time for this one. Is this tech or not tech? What do you think is going on here?
Okay, I'm answering on a different screen so no one can see my answers.
I'm never going to remember the details about what this is, but
You need to describe them. We want explanations and all the rest.
I'm not going to describe that. What do you think it is? Is it tech or not? I said the first few I think should be fairly straightforward. Helps. Okay. Again, for those that are trying to Google them quickly, I'm going to move on. So I think we've had enough time. How about this one? Something that's some kind of tech-related item? Or is it just something else? What do you reckon it could be, Eddie?
It's like a screw, but like a hand screw thing.
It's got like a cock type thing on the end of it, hasn't it? Okay. Again, I said we're being quick here, so hopefully people are being quick fire. Make your choice, and we'll move on to the next one. It could act as a gearbox, yes. It's for the new Tesla cars. It's the way you start the engine. You've got to put this in first.
I know what this is. It's like when you lock a safe, right? And you kind of, you spin forward a few, you spin backward a few more, you spin forward a few more. That's what it is.
Bit of old school tech. Okay, there's the next one. How about this? Some of these could be up close images as well that have been magnified, let's say. I don't know if that helps or not. Some of them aren't. So I don't know if it could be a red herring as well.
It's like a cheese grater.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it'd take a while, but it's not got the angles right. It normally has kind of quite an angle on them.
This might not be a very good one, or it might be one that's been used a lot.
It's worn down a bit.
Yeah.
A tree grater. Maybe this is actually really big. Maybe it's for making twigs. Is that how twigs are made? Okay, next question. What's this?
This is a trick question.
Okay, we're
The
going to
little
be...
bridges, it's like in Harry Potter, like the stairs.
How you doing? You picked your answer?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. And so we want to be quick because I know that we don't want to keep everyone for too long.
We might have to bump my round to next week.
We can take a vote after this one if you want for the few people that are here. I don't mind. And I reckon it's going to take going to be a while to answer each question, do you think?
I don't even know what questions I put in there. It was like an hour ago.
Yeah, it could be onto something there, Stephen, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Stephen could have been onto something. What about this? What on earth is this one? This is an interesting picture.
Is it like a peacock's bum?
Yeah, it's when you're looking straight down. You've been taking a lot of photos of peacocks recently, Eddie.
You've been zooming in.
Get that zoom lens out. Probably upside down though. I'd have thought. Otherwise, where are the feathers?
You're really thinking too much about this.
I am now. Okay. So I will try and remember what all of these were, but I think I remember what this one was. So we need to really have a platform where we can actually show a picture that goes with it, so you can see the larger part. Because some of these have obviously been trimmed to make them a little bit harder. I don't want to go into Eddie's sort of letterbox trimming though, but that would have been too hard. Okay, next up, what's this? What on earth is that? Is it just the side view out of an aeroplane? What is it?
Where
Do you think it's
take
tech
these
or not
pictures?
tech? I give the kids the camera. I just say, "Here, kids, go take some pictures for me," and they run around, take a load of pictures, and I've sort of zoomed in on them and uploaded them.
Is that like the lens of a projector in the cinema?
Aye. Your planes out. Oh, yeah, they're doing that, aren't they? That's right. Yeah, well, maybe that's the trick. Yeah, they're supposed to be developing planes. Was it which airline was it? Eddie will know. It'd be one of the airlines Eddie uses. They were going to line the entire inside and outside with cameras on the outside and pictures on the inside, so you could literally kind of floating in the air.
Yeah,
That'd be
it
really
was Emirates, wasn't it?
I think it was Emirates. Yeah.
One of those Middle Eastern airlines. Yeah, I heard they were going to do that. That's pretty cool. I mean, people will get freaked out.
Especially if they could just do it randomly as you're flying along. All of a sudden, the ground beneath you disappears.
Or it's when you
Could
step.
you imagine the screens on the plane? Especially if they can just time it with a bit of turbulence.
It's when you
Bit of
step,
turbulence
right? Pressure
around.
sensor.
Oh, that would be scary.
Because there's
Play a game.
there's a famous one. I think it's in Japan. David would know, where you're on a bridge and it looks like you're on a glass bridge, but actually they got a camera underneath and it's an LCD or whatever panel, and you're looking through it and it looks normal, and then you walk to the end and it shows it cracking and everyone screams and freaks out and like dives across. It's so funny. I'll have to dig out that video. That's quite funny.
It was similar to, there was a film, wasn't there? I want to think, was it called Skyscraper with The Rock
The
in?
Rock. Yeah.
That had something a bit like that, didn't it?
I think so. I wasn't a huge fan of that.
I think it
movie,
was
so I didn't
Skyscraper.
pay too much attention.
I think it was that one. Anyway, let's move to the next question. That's enough time on this one. What about this?
I know what that is. I know what that is.
In that case, you might know which way we went with this.
I don't know which way you went with it though. Can I ask? For a grooming tool, which way would you go?
You're saying too much now.
Some of them have Bluetooth and LCD displays and
This one looks far too basic.
an app. So it's a bit subjective, so it's quite hard.
Yeah, I know. This is the one that people might get upset over, I think.
So let me ask you another question. Hopefully you don't have this in your round. Would you consider a lawnmower tech or non-tech?
Probably a fair statement.
What's the answer?
That's why I used the word high tech as well, if you were listening at the start. So it's probably more high tech than low tech, let's
You
say.
didn't tell me that. I need to go back through and change all my answers.
Okay. Again, conscious of time, so hopefully
No, I haven't
everyone's made a
selected.
decision.
My browser's crashed. Wait. Let me go.
Make
Okay,
a
I've
decision.
selected. Go.
Okay, question number 9. What could that be? Something tech related?
Someone who's got a knot in their hair.
I'll tell you what I thought it was. And it's not this. I don't know if it helps or not, but I thought when I first saw this, it was like one of those old cassettes, and someone just pulled all the tape out of the cassette and just balled it all up and go, there you go. It's not that, but that's what I thought it was. In which case, it probably would have been tech. What about this, though? Could this be that, and what am I just throwing you off?
And I'm sure it's a trick question.
showing my age though by saying that. How did you fix that situation, Eddie? What did you have to do if you had a cassette and you pulled it all out?
Put a
Show our
pencil
ages.
in it and turn it. Oh my word! When you'd always have a
Sit there.
pencil as a kid, and when you've busted a tape and you wanted a pencil, I could never find a pencil. I'd be running around, want a pencil. My parents would be like, "But you never want a pencil. When we give you a pencil, you ask for a pen. Here's a pen." I'm like, "I actually
No,
need
I
a
didn't.
pencil."
Oh, yeah, I swear that's why pencils are that shape still today. It's all because people use them to fix their cassettes. Okay, next one. What's this? Something
I know
tech?
this one. I'm pretty proud
You
of
know.
myself today.
That's because you look down the lens of a camera too much, probably.
Maybe, actually, maybe, yeah. I actually know what this is.
In that case, we won't keep it up for too long. What do you want to do? Do you want to go to your round, or do you want to go through the answers of this and call it a night?
I think
We
go
are
through
a
the
bit-
answers and call it a night because we are getting quite late.
Okay. So somebody making a point about zero safe for the government. Yeah, could have been. Okay, should we see the scores?
Let's see the scores.
How did we do? How many people are still with us? End round, right. Oh, Mohammed, 10.
Wow. And Lael,
I'm-
7.
Stephen, 7 as well.
Why am I always
are top-
last?
Tom's there, cool. I don't know, Eddie. Anyone would think you don't know anything.
I don't know anything.
You missed one. You did miss one, though. There's one you didn't click on. Tom missed a couple as well at the speed we're going through because he's not able to listen with us, unfortunately.
Oh, I did miss one. What was 6? I'll answer it this time round when we go through the answers.
I'm now wondering, we're not giving anything away in the database, are we? I'm pretty sure there's no way you can check the APIs behind this. We were very careful about that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mohammed's on to something, though. He's on to something. Maybe he's just synced up with us. Random. It's 50-50 all the way. He just happens to be very good at 50-50. Okay, I better reset us back to the... how easily can I take us back to just the start of that round, I wonder? That's a bit more of a challenge. I think if I just remove the question we're on and set the round back to not being finished, hopefully I can do that. Cool, yeah, that works. So everyone should be seeing this. It is a set of straws.
That's what I thought.
So if you think straws are tech, then
I definitely think
someone
straws are non-tech.
thought this is cool technology to have a straw, I'm sure, but for me that sits in the low tech or no tech bracket. So that
I
should
didn't
be
think
not.
they were like carbon nanotubes or anything like that.
No, you weren't thinking about carbon nanotubes. I think they would have a much more rigid structure though. They wouldn't be all squashed in places.
Oh, okay.
This is effectively a robotic enhancement for your eye. I don't know exactly what it does because I can't remember when I found it. I didn't spend enough time because as Eddie probably knows, I was out, didn't really get in until about 8:30, and I had about 20 minutes to put a load of questions in. So I was looking for sort of low tech and high tech images and some sort of robotic enhancement for your eye. But this is tech, is the answer.
Yeah.
This is actually the top of a pepper mill. It actually is. So you're right about the little hand turning sort of screw as such. But that would be no tech. Open sweets. Oh, I've just been bought a load of sweets. I'm going to eat them. Oh, that's you do. Okay.
Oh, really? Mohammed says we weren't careful enough. Really? Where's network
Oh.
traffic?
Oh, the choices in the collection set. Okay. There is something we've missed. Thank you for that, Mohammed. Eddie will pay you later.
I'm logging
Okay.
choices collection in the console.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where we send choices. I don't think we send choices back for this. Maybe we are.
Let's have a look and see.
Mm.
Mohammed,
Okay,
we do
interesting.
call him in the Discord Eagle Eyes. He does spot everything. Like, really everything.
We will
It's a
have
really
to
good
take a
skill
look at
to
that.
have.
Make sure it's not coming back.
I think
But well spotted.
Mohammed, if you don't mind, can you raise an issue on the project on GitHub? I'll get a link in the chat.
Yeah, do that. Okay, this one here, it actually is a cheese grater, as Eddie said.
Oh, is
I
it?
tried to sort of fight off a little bit, but it actually is a cheese. Not a very good one though, from what I could see. But I thought it looked obscure enough. But it is actually a cheese grater. It could have been something techie, really zoomed in under a microscope, perhaps. But it is a cheese grater, which I would call not tech. This here, what did you think it was, Eddie? A load of bridges.
No, that was a
It's
joke.
actually-
I bet you it's something technical and fancy.
It's actually a whole load of buckets stacked up. They're all bucket handles. There you go. A stack of buckets that could look a little bit techie as a load of pipes or something. But no, buckets, I would say, as Stephen spotted, they're not really very high tech. A lot of people, I think, as you mentioned, people use them for their washing and stuff, don't they, to carry washing around in. Cool. Okay, so no tech. Oh, damn. Okay. Right, this one was a really difficult one because I thought the others were probably too easy. So
Oh, I didn't answer this
unless
one.
you
Can I
realise
make
this is actually, unless you've looked really close at something, this is actually under a microscope, a hologram, and in this case, it's a hologram that's on a credit card. So I thought, well, borderline, I'm going to go tech for this one because fintech and holograms are deemed to be very high tech as far as the credit card companies are concerned. So we went for tech as being a high tech hologram. But some people might say, well, holograms, I had those on books when I was growing up. They weren't very high techy, but that's under a microscope, a hologram. And that's probably the tech they're looking for. They're probably looking to make sure it looks like this under the microscope. This is not a view of Earth from a spaceship or anything else like that. It's actually a fingerprint reader.
Really?
I'll give you a moment to take that in. But it's actually a fingerprint reader.
Why doesn't it have a fingerprint on it?
Well, I had to try and pick one that had been cleaned.
Right, okay.
But yeah, sort of the gel stuff that they use to sense your fingerprint and the little blue light behind it. But it was too obvious. The more I zoomed out, that was one of the ones I did have to sort of cut and trim off a bit to make it look like it could be something else. Lael thought about it. But
Wow.
did you get this one
nice.
right, Lael? I can't remember which ones everyone got right. Yeah. Fingerprint reader, so tech for that one. This here, as Eddie pointed out, is a grooming device. It's a sort of an electric razor. From my point of view, as you say, like a lawnmower, I didn't think that's very high tech. You can get some high tech ones, but I probably would have picked something that actually looked high tech, like a laser one or something instead. That might be deemed high tech, but yes, not low tech for that one. And this here is actually
Carbon nanotubes. No.
no, it's a steel sponge.
I thought you were trying to do some trick thing, like it was some super duper thing. That's why I put tech.
Yeah, that's why I picked it. Was it looks really difficult, but it actually is something really basic. It's just a steel sponge. It's the steel wool on a steel sponge. So, for those that realised it was a steel sponge, well done. It's not a cassette either. So, low tech on that. I don't think steel sponges can be deemed to be high tech. They might be quite good at cleaning stuff. They're also blooming good at scratching and destroying stuff. And last but not least is another low tech or no tech one.
This is a BIC.
It could be a BIC. I couldn't tell you what the make was from this particular picture, but it could well be. But yes, you're right. It is the end of a pen. Yeah.
Red one as well.
It is. I'm wondering how well that pen's working because there's not a great deal of red ink on there. But I don't think there probably isn't that much when you actually look under or zoom in on one. It probably does look quite like that generally. There you go.
Nice.
That there, if I end round again, is the end. And I didn't remember them all correctly. Good. I'll remember what I put them against. And thank you, Mohammed, for pointing out the slight flaw in the platform that we were trying to avoid, but must have managed to leave in there somewhere. So we'll have to look as to how that's happened.
Yeah, good spot. Good spot. Nice. We're not going to do the third round tonight. It's already half 10 UK time. I think it's half 12 in Lebanon as well. I mean, Mohammed's in Egypt, which is probably an hour
It's
ahead, I
half
think.
Creative round, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hopefully,
I had good fun.
Yeah.
That was really good, and I'm just, really impressed with our guest round and the picture round from Andrew.
And Eddie will save his GitHub open source round for next week.
I'm actually going to improve the questions because I thought Andrew was going to have really bad questions, so I thought mine will be better, but mine probably weren't that good, so I need to improve them.
You could do 2 rounds. You could do one on GitHub and one on open source. How about that?
How about we have a guest round? That'd be good. Anyone watching wants to do a guest round, let us know.
Yeah. Well, Leia, likewise, if you want to do a slightly more advanced Kotlin round, we could always do that as well.
That last one was really hard. If you want to do an easier Kotlin round, I'm in. You could do a generic testing round, I suppose, right? Testing, but more generic, I suppose, not specific. But have a think, everyone. Let us know if you got any ideas.
It gets tricky when you start putting code into tests. It'll take a while.
True.
Yeah, we could try doing another one if someone wants to have a go at doing a coding round for us. It's a shame Dan left, otherwise we could have got him to have another fintech round for us. I know he did one for us a little while ago.
He did, yeah. Awesome. Well, let's call it a day. Great place to stop. 10:30 or 11:30 or 12:30, wherever you are in the world. And now I've got some messages on Discord where they're saying it's kind of 4:30 a.m. So they couldn't join.
That's when I woke up this morning. I woke up at 4:30 today, so I am definitely flagging now.
Awesome. Everyone have an amazing weekend. Thank you all for joining and taking part. And we look forward to seeing you next week, which might not be on a Friday, and we might do it slightly earlier, I think. Andrew and me will have a think, and we'll chat to you and see drinking around. Definitely will fall asleep then. And we'll come up with some new times and let you all know.
Cool. As Eddie normally says, don't forget to like the stream. I think you probably said it earlier. But we'll say it again.
Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if
Thumbs
you
up,
haven't, and share it with your friends.
Yeah, a whole lot.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Bye.
Oh, and next week we're going to do Wednesday. Or
That's
we're
what
going
I'm
to
saying.
skip the
We're
week.
going to do a different day. Yeah.
Which when are we going to start from next week? Well, are we going to do a Friday next week? We're going to do a Wednesday or skip next week and following Wednesday. When do you want to do it?
Maybe we skip a week so I can get my questions a lot better, and we can maybe get another guest round in, and we should do Wednesday and maybe earlier, like 8 o'clock.
I was going to say, don't want to do too much earlier. 8 o'clock might work, yeah.
Okay, awesome. We'll put some comms out and let you all know. That sounds
Cool.
Good idea anyway.
Awesome. Well,
Have a
thank
great
you.
weekend, everyone.
And we'll surprise Tom, who's probably waiting for the third round.
Yeah.
Tom, thanks.
Message Tom and let him know that he's not watching the YouTube video in the pub. He should have noise cancelling headphones on in the pub and be watching.
No, he should have gone up to the person that's running the pub and said, "Hey, turn Sky Sports off. Put these guys on."
These are tech sports. Awesome. Okay, everyone have a great weekend, and we'll be in touch soon.
Good night. See you probably a week on Wednesday.
Sounds good.